Cody, you can't just come up with a branding statement, expect the world to believe you. I mean, that day is long gone. People are skeptical. People are informed. They're not going to fall for you saying, my company is the best in the world. So we had to be distinctive. And we became distinctive in two measurable ways. Under these two ways, there's an ecosystem, a deep ecosystem. It would take me hours to show it to you and explain it to you. But it's a deep ecosystem, which what I did for companies. I would help them create an ecosystem so that long after I'm gone or whoever the leaders may be, you can keep that ecosystem in place. So the two measurable buckets. The first one is our values. And here are our values. God, family, country. God, family, country. Now, we are an inclusive university. So you can, whatever religion you are, we welcome you. Whatever your thoughts are about this or that, it's okay. But we as an institution believe in God Almighty. And we as an institution believe in the love and the affinity of family. And we as an institution love America and are very patriotic and will salute the American flag. Those are non-negotiable values. And I talk about it every open house and I say, if that bothers you that we're that way, just know we respect that and we will never judge that. But this may not be the school for you. And Cody, every time I say that, I can't describe it to you. People beat a path to our doors. 20,000 applications this year for a freshman class of 1,600.
This is the Business of Advice podcast, where we help good advisors become great business owners. Everyone, I am so excited about today's guest. He is truly one of the most dynamic leaders that I've had the pleasure of meeting. To give you a little background, he arrived in the United States as a teenager with little knowledge of English and $50 in his pocket. Today, Dr. Nido Qubein is the chairman of the Great Harvest Bread Company that has 220 stores across 43 states. But in addition, he is the president of High Point University, where he has literally transformed that university into the premier life skills university in the United States. And we're going to talk a lot about that. As if that isn't enough, Dr. Qubein is a Hall of Fame speaker and has received the Ellis Island Medal of Honor and the Horatio Alger Award for Distinguished Americans. Dr. Qubein, it is my honor to welcome you to the Business of Advice podcast.
Thank you, Cody. It's my pleasure being with you. I have great admiration for you, my friend, and all the good stuff that you're doing in the world. And so I'm delighted to be with you.
Yeah, it's been a while since you spoke for us, and I don't know that I've told you this, but we've had 3 advisors whose students ended up at High Point University after you spoke. They said, we're going to check that out. So I tried. I have a senior in high school, and I tried to get him there, but he just loves big-time college football. So he wanted that. So
now Cody, you give me $150 million. I'll create that in 18 months.
I had a feeling you might say that. So, well, hey, let's start here. Your story is just so incredible, and I've heard it. Kind of mentioned it briefly in the intro, but give the audience just a little context of your journey from coming to this country as a young man to now leading High Point University.
Listen, Cody, anything I've done in my life has been by the grace of God and the help of others. Let me start with that. I don't want to claim any kind of genius here. My life has been filled with turning points that cumulatively turn into tipping points. I'm very grateful for that. I followed the advice of my mother, who said, who you spend time with is who you become. She said, what you choose is what you get. She said, how you change is how you succeed. It may sound like simplistic advice. It is difficult sometimes to apply it and execute in it in a world that's ever-changing and globally competitive. But I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. And so my story goes something like this. My daddy died when I was 6 years of age. People ask me all the time, you can go on Amazon, spend a few bucks, watch my life story that they filmed. The truth is, he died when I was 6, and I missed that. I never grew up with a dad, man. I would have liked to have had someone, my dad, take me to a ballpark and throw me a ball, or take me to the circus, read me a book, sing me a song, give me a hug. That didn't happen to me. But out of adversity can emerge abundance. And so what happened is my mom, with fourth grade education, she was able to plant seeds of greatness in our minds, hearts, and souls. And she worked, became a seamstress, and to make some money to feed us and clothe us, 5 of us. I was the youngest, 3 boys, 2 girls. And she sent me on a one-way ticket to the United States of America to get a college degree. She insisted that her kids would get a college degree and do well in life. I came here with $50. I landed in Eastern North Carolina, went to a tiny little school. I transferred to High Point, what was at High Point College, went to the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, got my graduate degrees, and guess what? Started my first business straight out of college. I'd say $500, I put it to work. I understand entrepreneurial spirit. I know the difference between an entrepreneurial spirit and a worker's mentality. I understand what it means to have a clear vision, a solid strategy, to employ practical systems, and to execute consistently in life. I also understand that in America, the opportunities are rampant. They're everywhere, north and south, east and west. But they're not going to come to those who are looking for success to come to them. You must go to it, is what I understood. And so I get up in the morning, between 3 and 4 in the morning. I study for about 2 hours every morning. I even listen to, motivational speakers, preachers. I read books on philosophy, economics, whatever, because I know that school is never out for the pro. And so, after that first business, Cody, which was very successful, I created 68,000 customers in 32 countries in a matter of 2 or 3 years. It was a direct mail business. Out of it came speaking. So companies started inviting me to speak. This was back in the 70s. I've given 7,500 presentations. And, out of that came consulting. I made a little money. So a couple of guys and I started a bank. I sold the bank. And 3 years later, I got on the board of a large bank, which has merged twice since then. I'm the longest serving director on the board of directors of Truist Financial, which is the 5th largest in the United States of America, assets of $550 billion. Out of that came other board assignments and other opportunities. But at the end of the day, it is a matter of attitude. Your beliefs directly affect your behaviors, and your behaviors determine what the results are going to be. In the middle of all that, we need coaching. We need people to be our heroes, our models, our mentors, who can show us the path, who can point the potholes in the road, and who can keep saying to us, well done, keep at it, don't give up. Tomorrow will be a better day than yesterday.
You've had a lot of success. I think probably now, at least the thing that you're best known for is this transformation, for lack of a better terms, at High Point University. It's truly legendary. To give some perspective, I'm roughly over the last decade, total undergraduate enrollment at universities across the country has dropped 5%, but at High Point, your enrollment is up 250%. What were some of the things that you did, maybe strategies that you implemented? And I've seen it. It's a lot of that entrepreneurial spirit that you have that has driven such drastic increases during a time where so many others struggled.
Yes, Cody, I'm happy to answer that question. First, I invested 35 years of my life in business. People sometimes forget that I built 6 businesses, and found prosperity, frankly, and abundance in all of that. I've been very, very grateful. I've also invested a significant part of my life in service. I've served on the boards of or chaired many, many nonprofits, including the founding of the National Speaker Association Foundation, among others. I invest 1/3 of my life in learning, 1/3 of my life in earning. Learning must come before earning. And 1/3 of my life in serving. Those who earn have a duty and a responsibility to serve. To whom much is given, much is required. William Barclay, the Scottish theologian, said, always give without remembering. Always receive without forgetting. I'm telling you all this because that's how I ended up at Hype University. It was not my dream to be a president of a school. I never sought it. It came to me. I was the incoming chairman of the board of trustees. And my buddies on the board said, Nido, our school is both broke and broken. Broke financially, broken in terms of $120 million in deferred maintenance. And we got to do something. And my goodness, they had vision, because that was in 2005, if we hadn't done something, what with the Great Recession, the most disrupted economic times in the last 90 years in America's history, as you well know, and COVID-19, we will not be in business. Just this morning, I read about another college closing down. That's become, the flavor of the month, it seems. But I did come, and I left very significant business matter, maybe not 100%, but 80, 85% to come here. It meant tremendous sacrificial for me financially and so on. I used to do 150 dates a year speaking, and out of that came enormous consulting. And now I, barely do 25 given the time limitation. Tomorrow I speak to 3,000 dentists, for example, in Orlando. So we did become a significant and sustainable institution. And the principles we applied here came out of my business career, and they apply to any business. Nobody could argue with me that what we've done here in a nonprofit institution of higher learning cannot be applied in an entrepreneurial sense with a solo practitioner or with any organization, profit, nonprofit, any corporation, anywhere. Because here's what we did. I'll summarize it to you, but I'm happy to elaborate. What we really did is four different things. Number one, we created appreciated value. Now, Cody, hear me out. There is a measurable difference between value and appreciated value. Measurable difference. So you can give someone 2 first-class tickets to fly on an airplane, to go to Miami, to get on a cruise ship, all expenses paid, the best, captain's suite they got. And that has value. I agree. The tickets have value. The cruise ship, has value. But here's the deal. If you're afraid of flying, and if you get seasick on a cruise ship, there is no appreciated value there. Likely you would say, thank you very much. I kindly want to suggest that you be nice to me, but I can't use those. Do you mind if I give them to a friend? So there's no appreciated value. So the key is to always make sure everything we render is appreciated by the other party. And what makes one sure that your value is appreciated? 4 things. You have to work with people's fears, help them overcome them. You have to help people set their goals. You have to help people fulfill their needs. And you have to help people achieve their aspirations. You do those 4 things, you will succeed every time in every business. I don't care where it is. I have consulted with and coached literally millions of people all over the world over the years. And I can tell you, life is much simpler than we make it, Cody. We make it so complex. It's not so complex. It's about building bridges of understanding with other people, which means you have to bring the other person to you, but you must go to them as well. Otherwise, it doesn't work. By go to them, I mean understand them, figure out what they appreciate in life. So number one, we said there are 4,000 universities in America. How do we make Hypo University distinctive? Now, Cody, so many people swim in an ocean of sameness. Some people swim in a lake of differentiation. Both are okay, but they're not enough. We wanted Hypo University to swim in a small pool of distinction. Distinction. Do you know how you know when you have distinction? You ask the simple question. How easily can someone else imitate what I do? Because, Cody, the easier it is for someone else to imitate what we do, the less valuable we become by definition. You can't argue that point. So what you want to be is the person who is bringing such appreciated value that it's hard for someone else to imitate what you do.
That's good.
And so, number one, we created appreciated value. Number two, we interpreted that value. Somehow, somewhere, we all think that, coming up with an idea, a product, a service, and explaining it in a brochure or on a video or in the verbal narration of it, that people will understand it. Cody, knowledge does not equal understanding. You can give me all the knowledge there is. It doesn't mean you can go apply it. I can pick up a book on how to play tennis today. I can spend hours on the book. I can pass a test. I can make an A in it. It doesn't follow I can go on that court and play tennis with you. So interpreting value means, what does it do for the other person? And what it does for the other person, is it congruent what the other person needs, values in their life? So that's what I mean by interpreting value. The third one is we removed all the irritants from the system. When my kids went to another school, because I wasn't president here, 3 of my 4 kids went to another school. I got a bill every week, man, for photocopying, riding the bus, playing in the arcade, going to a concert. I go, this is so irritating to me. I can't explain it to you. So I said, all the irritants are removed. So we said, you're going to pay one price. I promise you, we will not bill you again until the next semester. But that's not the only area for irritants. We said a student dropping a course, adding a course, shouldn't have to go to 4 places to do that. You should be able to get on your computer and do that immediately, right? We said parents should not have to wonder what is the answer to that question. Who do I talk to about solving this problem? So we put concierge service 24/7. Any parent can call anytime, and if we don't know the answer, we'll get you the answer readily and quickly. You get the idea of what I mean by irritants. And the 4th thing we did is we added wow to the experience. Let me ask every person listening to us or seeing us on this podcast, Cody, this question. Can you, in 30 seconds or less, tell me what are the 3 wows that people would list about doing business with you? And can you, in 30 seconds or less, tell me the 3 unwows that people would list as getting bothered by doing business with you? You got to add wow to the experience. The wow is not always physical. The wow often is a feeling. So it comes through service. It comes through being responsible and responsive at the same time. So that's what we did. Now, of course, there are a million things that happen in the middle, of course. But we built culture. This is the last point. We'll move to the next point. But we built culture in the organization. Now, I have taught hundreds of organizations how to understand what culture is. Now, I don't want to dilly-dally around with writing the script for you, but I want to explain to you intellectually and pragmatically. Everybody wants to talk about culture. Well, what is it and how do you do it? And I put it in very simple terms, about 5 or 6 simple words. I say the way we build culture here. Number 1, we informed everybody. I made sure people understood why we're doing what we're doing, where we're headed, how we're going to do it, who will appreciate it, and mostly how it affects and influences and impacts their life. Number 2, we involved people, right? This isn't just me sitting in my office doing what I do. I need you in my life. And so come in the inner circle and help us build this. Number 3, inspire people. You got to inspire them. All of us have to be inspired. I listen every day to videos and read books and so on to inspire me, and I'm a highly inspired person. I'm a very positive person about life. I'm a high energy person, but I need to be inspired too. I go to church to hear a message that can warm my heart, for example. Number 4, you've got to inspect what you expect. If you don't inspect what you expect, you don't know what's going on. And if you don't know what's going on, you will not be able to do the next point. And the next point is to improve. You're going to improve. So think of it this way, Cody. What is the job of any leader? Any leader. The CEO of any business. They only have two major functions. Number 1, to allocate resources, financial resources, human resources, brick and mortar resources, whatever, however you define it. And number 2, to create capacity in those you choose to lead. That's it. So my job is to make every person on my team become better tomorrow than they are today. How do you do that? I got to inspect what you're doing. Because if I inspect what you're doing, then I can take the 6th I here about building culture, which is improve. Then I can help you improve. Then I can show you how you can sell more, you can think better. You can go from being a horizontal thinker to a vertical and diagonal thinker. I can show you how the difference between problem solving and solution finding, the difference between time management and energy management, and on the cycle goes.
You have done, ever since you spoke for us and I learned more about High Point. Now I've pay attention. And it's actually, I was just going through an FBO the other day and grabbed your magazine. They're always in the FBOs, which is pretty cool. But there's some things you've done really different than traditional universities.
Yeah.
On-campus steakhouse where they have dinner with you, National Board of Advisors. Some of our mutual friends, John Maxwell, Scott McCain, have been industry leaders that come in and actually teach. Steve Wozniak from Apple, I know, was part of that. How has that innovation played a role in High Point's education?
So thank you for that, because you're hitting the nail on the head. Look, Cody, you can't just come up with a branding statement and expect the world to believe you. I mean, that day is long gone. People are skeptical. People are informed. They're not going to fall for you saying my company is the best in the world. So we had to be distinctive, and we became distinctive in two measurable ways. Under these two ways, there's an ecosystem, a deep ecosystem. It would take me hours to show it to you and explain it to you. But it's a deep ecosystem, which what I did for companies. I would help them create an ecosystem so that long after I'm gone, or whoever the leaders may be, you can keep that ecosystem in place. So the two measurable buckets. The first one is our values, and here are our values. God, family, country. God, family, country. Now, we are an inclusive university, so you can, whatever religion you are, we welcome you. Whatever your thoughts are about this or that, it's okay. But we as an institution believe in God Almighty. And we as an institution believe in the love and the affinity of family. And we as an institution love America and are very patriotic and will salute the American flag. Those are non-negotiable values. And I talk about it every open house, and I say, if that bothers you that we're that way, just know we respect that and we will never judge that. But this may not be the school for you. And Cody, every time I say that, I can't describe it to you. People beat a path to our doors. 20,000 applications this year for a freshman class of 1,600. Just try to understand what I'm just saying to you. We've created enormous demand through the art of positioning on merit and by design. So number one, values. Number two, which is a huge one, which answers the number one objection people have about sending their kids to college and paying all that money. Second bucket is premier life skills. So we are the premier life skills university. And we say that academics are very important. That's the Mona Lisa. What you study in the classroom about mathematics, science, history, all of that is important. However, when you exit this university, you can apply it. You go apply for a job and they go, what do you know? How do you apply that here? I have to put you through training and education for 6 more months. So we have ensured that there's an ecosystem that is deep, that is very deep in every hour of every day, everywhere here, that prepares you for life. And in that effort, I realize I've got to get those people who know that stuff. Just like I have 400 PhDs who know how to teach these subjects. I have to get people who know leadership, like John. I have to get people who understand distinction, like Scott, you mentioned. But I also have to get phenomenal entrepreneurs who built huge organizations, like the co-founder of Netflix, the co-founder of Apple Computer, like the current CEO of Domino's Pizza. On and on the story goes, like Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice. People who have achieved the impossible in their life, and bring them here to speak with my students and tell them how they did it, and ask the kind of questions you're asking me, and having these young men and women hear it and understand how to apply it in their life. That combination, glued with tremendous connectivity with parents, has allowed this university to grow measurably. You mentioned the growth of enrollment, but you have a business leadership and a business viewership. We took our revenues we took our revenues almost 14-fold in the period I've been here in the last 15, 16 years. We took our net assets 10-fold. We took our physical plant from 91 acres to 540 acres. We took our academic schools. Think, in a corporation, you'd be saying, we bought these companies, we started these other ventures. So we only had 3 schools here, academic schools. There were business, education, and arts. And now we have 11 going to 13, including School of Law, School of Dental Medicine, School of Pharmacy, School of Health Sciences, School of Optometry. You get the idea. These are difficult things to do, my friend. And in my tenure here, we have built or completely renovated 108 buildings, and we invested $3 billion. And Cody, are you ready for this one? We don't borrow money to build. Everything is done with cash. So that means we raise a lot of money, and it also means that we operate in a fiscally responsible manner with efficiency and productivity at the heart of all that we do. And that's my business background, clearly, that I bring here, that I showed companies how to do. So yes, people call this a miracle. You'll be shocked who comes to visit me here. 400 universities came to visit me. There's one coming in a few minutes, president of a school. But more than that, you'll be shocked the business people who bring their small groups here to stay in our hotel and to hear what I say in the morning about how we built it, in the afternoon, how they can apply that in their business. Because everything we've done here is applicable in a corporate business entrepreneurial world.
That's awesome. I will tell people, actually, John Maxwell told me to watch this a few weeks ago when I was with him, but you did an interview with Mark Randolph. I was just pulling it up to make sure. I think it was on PBS, a side-by-side where he talked about just kind of that Netflix story, and it's an incredible video. Everyone should go watch. I know he's been a big part of what you've done there.
So, Cody, let me give you that link for your friends here that they can go. I have a PBS television show called Side by Side with Nido Qubein. You can go to High Point, HIGHPOINT, one word, highpoint.edu, like education, edu. I think it's / side by side, but if nothing else, just go to the website and look for the Office of the President, and you will see tons of videos I've done with some really, really great people. Condoleezza Rice telling her story and so on. And in every case, I ask a lot of questions that are applicable to that viewer. So you'll see, it's only 25 minutes, the show. It's a weekly show. And I learn from it. And here's a tip that will surprise you. I don't prepare for it. I don't. I just sort of sit on the set. I know who the person is and what they do and so on. Most of these people I know. And I'm just curious. I just ask questions about how do you do it? When did you fail? What did you learn? And I'm talking to that one person watching me on their laptop or that group watching us in a study group. So it's fascinating. I've become a better person, Cody, because of the people I hang around with. And I've learned so much from them. And some of the stuff I've learned from them, you don't learn in books, my friend. You know, like curiosity, like a degree of humility. You don't want to be completely humble. You want to have some ego strength to go out there and get it done. But you also have to be caring and loving and respectful and civil. And I watch people, you know, and I learn from them. The good, and sometimes you learn the bad too.
Let me ask you a question. This is a little different, but applies to your role. You know, we support so many advisors across the country, so many of them hiring and us too. So they're hiring kids coming out of college. I hear a lot of people complaining about these kids are different. They have different value system or different work ethic. What advice would you give to people as they're hiring kids that are graduating now? What do they need to understand that you do that maybe we don't?
Yeah. So that's a very good question. And it is indeed a challenge. I serve a number of corporate boards where we're always challenged by that, right? But you have to hire them because if you want sustainability, you have to bring them. You got to keep the funnel going. If you don't, then the future is in jeopardy. So number one, I say, make sure you get someone who's got intelligence, who's got energy, and who's got good character. Let's begin with that. Absent one of those three things, you're asking for trouble. But let's assume you get someone who's intelligent, has energy, and has good character. Then what else do you do? Watch where they went to college. Someone coming out of High Point University is going to know. I mean, I have 4,000 companies that interview our people here for internships and for careers. 98.2% of my graduates get a job within 6 months of graduation. National average is 16 points less than that. So we are getting them ready for that. So where did they go to school? What did they learn in that school? Let me just tell it the way I hear it in my head. If they went to a school which is all woke, everything is just about don't do this and be, you know what? The world is not like that, my friend. And I tell our students here, you're not competing with someone who's lives in a state next door to you. You're competing with BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, countries in the middle, countries beyond. Get with it. You have to have a global view of life. You have to be responsible and responsive. And I will say to these kids, it's not all about you. You're a part of an organism that must succeed or you will suffer. You will lose your job. You will not get a raise. You will not be promoted and so on. So, but the question is bigger than that. What is it that we, as more mature people making the decisions, what is it we look for and what is it we should do? I think every organization has a responsibility to be honest. And at the front end to say to every employee, look, this is who we are. This is what we believe. And we respect whatever it is you believe. But this is what we stand for. Are you okay with that? Do you feel that that's congruent with who you are? If they're not, why in the world are you going to invite them in your midst? They're just going to come and try to change your culture, change your company, and create problems for you. There are 350 million people living in America, man. We graduate millions of people in colleges every year. If you can't find them, you're doing something wrong. You're not hooking up with the right people. So that's number one. Number two, they're impressionable. They're 22, 23, 24-year-olds. What made you think they have all the maturity and all the judgment in life? They don't. They lack some judgment. They lack some awareness. And frankly, they lack some relevance. And so your job is to, first of all, make sure that's the right person. Second, what tunnel are you running them through? Who is mentoring this person? Are you honest with them? Now, third, I think what you have to do is you have to reward. You have to acknowledge and reward. So I have 2,000 employees here, and we have monthly meetings, faculty, staff, et cetera, all the way down to the dishwasher. And I say to those people, every month, I reinforce what it takes to be successful and what it takes to be significant. Is not enough to be successful. Some of the richest people in the world, and I know a ton of those people, are not happy, my friend. Mm-hmm. So you want a life filled with success. That's a good thing. But you want also a life that's framed with significance. What is the influence and impact that you're creating in the world, in the zone in which you reside? So the most important thing you can do with them is to keep informing them, the 6 points I gave you about culture, but to also tell them, also be bold enough to tell them the circle of influence in which you reside will directly influence the person you become. And if the circle of influence in which you reside is a, moaning, groaning, whining, I want to work less, I want to make more money, I want to stay at home in my shorts and still be elevated, I want you to give me more time off, I'm not willing to do anything extra for you. I'm going to clock in and then go to Starbucks for 30 minutes, get my coffee, and then at 5 o'clock hour, I'm going to be in my car going home. You have a responsibility to make sure that those individuals have an understanding what it takes to run your business. And you cannot run your business if you don't understand load management, energy management, if you don't have a sense of responsibility towards efficiency and productivity. And I'm open. I tell people, look, we do well, I'll share the goodness with you. We don't do well, we'll die. We'll shut down. So I think it's understanding what they want and try to show them how they can get what they want by being involved and so on. 3 words, Cody. Every person who works with me, who's on my team, understands these 3 words. Do everything that is asked of you, but that's a minimum requirement. I want you to perform at the optimal, not at the minimum, not at the maximum. I don't want to break you, but the optimal level of performance for you. How do you get there? You do everything that's asked of you, everything that's, assuming it's fair and just environment, everything that's asked of you. And here are the 3 words. And then some. In other words, tell me about that little extra that you're going to do. That's going to make you extraordinary. Our call to action at Hype University is choose to be extraordinary. Extraordinary means you're not ordinary. You're not swimming in an ocean of sameness. People will see you, they'll notice you, they want more of you. That's what extraordinary means. So give me that and then some, and you see what the world will do. Everybody will be giving you and then some. So the and then some means it's the end of the day, you're about to go home. Do one more thing. Make one more call, write one more note. You do one more thing. Then some means don't waste the day doing stuff you could do in the evening. You could do early tomorrow morning, reading stuff and so on. In office hours is crazy. It's not action time. Then some means be kind to other people. Help them do their job well so that your job can be secure. So put me down as bullish about today's young people.
Yeah.
Today, young people are like airplanes, Cody. You only hear about the ones that crash. You don't hear about all the ones that take off and land safely. But it's our responsibility to enlighten them, to educate them, not just to train them. You train dogs and elephants. You educate people. You know, if you only train somebody, you show them the how. But if you educate someone, you're teaching them the why. You see, the person who has the how will always find a job, but the person who has the why will always be their boss. So we don't want to just show people what to do. We must show people what to be. And when we do that, they become better performers. They like themselves better. A lot of young people today are ignorant of what it takes to do what you do so well. Once they figure it out and experience it, they respond. If we don't do that, then the future of America and the world is in jeopardy. And I refuse to accept that. As an immigrant to this country, I refuse to accept that. So at Hype University, every day, in every way, we're planting seeds of greatness in the minds, hearts, and souls of our students. We're preparing them to be responsible citizens, patriotic citizens, and not brainwashing, not feeding them stuff, but having them understand what it means to be in a country where opportunity is rampant. Look, you take risk out of life, you take opportunity out of life. So when someone says, well, that's kind of risky, I go, you need to learn something about risk management. Then you will do things in a much better way. Cody, I'm going for ages. Yeah. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about what you do. I'm passionate about the opportunities as leaders in America and the world today. Each of us has. It's time we get up in the morning and say, oh, my Lord, thank you for oxygen. I have oxygen, the gift without which I cannot live, but the gift that is given to me free, and I must be grateful for it. And I mean that literally and figuratively. If you're thankful for oxygen, you're thankful for your relationships. You're thankful for the opportunity to serve. You're thankful for the goodness you have. You don't take it for granted. And that's, my friend, is a heart filled with thankfulness. Whining, Cody, is the opposite of thanksgiving. Whining is the opposite of thanksgiving. I give everybody a little clicker here. And if you whine, we click you. And we let everyone know we got a loser in the house, right? A loser in the house. Man, look what you're doing. Look how you're helping so many people. Cody, I admire you so much because you're not only helping them through your profession, but you're also bringing people like me and others to share their experience in life. And in that, there is a string of benefit that when applied, when understood, when acknowledged, gives birth to wonderful things.
Dr. Qubein, it has been a pleasure. I know we got to get you going. I know you're a busy, busy man, and I appreciate you carving out a little time to be on the show today. Obviously, I'm guessing everyone's going to go start looking at High Point University and what you're doing, but what is the best way for people to follow and connect with you?
Well, two ways. One is highpoint.edu. That's our website. If they have children who want to come visit, then there's a number there that you call for admissions. You have to make an appointment.
Yep.
When you come here, we'll put you in a golf cart, show you the campus. Cody, it is a campus to behold.
Even since you spoke for us, and that was probably 5 or 6 years ago, watching some of the buildings that you built and what you've done, it's pretty phenomenal.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We're building $100 million buildings that are useful to develop and evolve the leaders of tomorrow. It's not just about beauty. And so they can go there. If someone is hearing us and they have a question or they, and they're a friend of yours, they can write me directly. I'll answer them. Just make an email short, 6 lines or less. I get about 300 a day. I do all my own emails myself every day. And that's N Qubein, N as in Nido, Qubein, Q-U-B as in boy, E-I-N, not Q-U-E, but N-Q-U at Highpoint, one word, HIGHPOINT.edu. And because of our friendship, Cody, I'm happy to respond to them. And if I spoke to a group 5 or 6 years ago,
Time to have you back.
I'm a much better speaker today. What are you doing? How do you expect to succeed without me speaking to them again, Cody? It's a pleasure being with you.
Or we will come visit you, yes. And for everyone who listens, I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, you should check out what they're doing. It is phenomenal. Share this with someone who needs it. And remember, our world needs great leaders more than ever, so go be great. Dr. Qubein, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cody. God bless you and happy holidays.